just some tips and tools. I am, of course, a feminine energy coach. This is what I teach women to do is reconnect with your natural feminine energy. And as you know, we have both feminine and masculine energy. And hi, everyone. You have feminine and masculine energy. Most women, if you've found your way to this video, there's a very good chance that you are operating from your masculine energy, which is why you're talking to me right now, which is why you're watching my video, is that you are feeling that the relationship you have with your man could use some improvement. There are some signs and symptoms of him pulling away and withdrawing from you. And a lot of it has to do with just balancing your energies. So much of this world we live in is really going out and getting what we want. And this works great in a lot of scenarios. It doesn't work so great with a man and in a relationship, that leaning towards him making it happen. So tonight I'm going to share with you some tips and tools. I'm going to talk about something new. Well, it's relatively new. It's called breathing, which is a term. It's kind of hot on the New York dating scene right now. It's about giving your partner space during dating. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to talk about this technique that I'm using in my new FEM tools class, which if you're watching this past July 14th, 2019, you can get the recorded version. But if you want to attend a class live with me, you can. And you can just use the link below. It's a very affordable class. So I would love for you to join. So without much ado, let's get started. Let's talk about 3 things that are going to make your man really crazy about you and decide that you are his dream girl. Let's talk about what's involved with that. So, first things first, men are seeking sexual variety. When a man goes on a date with you, he's more interested in sex than he is like, wow, I hope I'll finally get married. Okay, so my husband summed it up really well when he and I taught recently. He said, I've been in love with women I've never had sex with. Okay. I've also had sex with women I would never fall in love with, don't want any sort of relationship with. And there have been women that it started off sexual and I fell in love with them. That is how it works for men. Occasionally, there will be a man who decides he is so in love with you, he's got to have you, and you've never had sex with him. That might happen. All right. I experienced a lot of my clients, if you have an exotic look even if you don't have an exotic look, you'll attract a man who gets maybe mesmerized and hypnotized by your beauty, you're unique looking, or you have a unique quality, and they'll really fall in love with you. And then once they get you and they have you, they lose interest. Now, this can happen with any man. It can happen with any man, but especially so, I think, for women who have an exotic beauty. That's my personal opinion. So men are seeking a sexual variety. Women are seeking commitment. We also want sex, don't get me wrong, but we're looking more for that safety and commitment and warmth that we want to have, that makes us want to pair bond and build a family with. So keep that in mind as we go about, yes, stability. Thank you, Scarlett. Keep that in mind as we go about this video and just what it takes to really make a man say, oh my gosh, I have found my dream girl. What are the qualities of a dream girl? We're going to talk about them. So I've got 3 things here. I'm going to list them all at one time. You have space, which is also known as honoring his no. When a man tells you no, you need to accept it and say, okay. It might be, no, I don't want anything to do with you. It might be, no, I'm not going to your cousin's birthday party. It might be, no, I'm not paying the rent this month. There is power in accepting his no, because otherwise You go to fight with him, and you're two guys, two rams up on the mountaintop going, "Pow, pow," okay? You won't win that way. You might win a few battles that way. And believe me, if you're in a situation where you have to put on your boy pants, the house is getting foreclosed and things like that, there's a time and a place for getting in your masculine energy and going to hell with this relationship. I have got to save my house, my children, my life, my children's life, you see. Okay? But let's say your guy comes home and he says, "Yeah, not going to pay the rent this month." Okay. Accept his no. Go quiet. Or aren't you mad? Or aren't you pissed off? They're going to begin to work on it, you see, and that's the energy you want to get them in. You want to get them into problem solving mode because that's what they're best at. Guys are really good at problem solving. So you see how this will work for you by accepting a man's no. And this includes, "Baby, I want to break up with you. You're an amazing woman, but I don't want to see you anymore. I want to break up." Okay. I'll miss you, but okay. And you're not picking up your phone every 10 minutes when he starts texting you again. Same for women who are married. This is something that I'm gearing towards in my FEM class for marriage and relationships, which is all about how do you keep this spark alive? How do you keep it going? Or if you're in a relationship with a guy and you want to be married, how do you make this long haul happen? You see, you keep him always in a place of knowing no one is ever going to compare to you. No one will ever be like you. There's only one you, and you can proudly own it. There is only one me. If he happens to find his soulmate and it's not me, I love this man. Good luck. I love you. Go find your soulmate. But for right now, I know how powerful, dynamite, and awesome I am. You see how powerful feminine energy can be for you? So, number one, space, giving him space. You're not wanting an answer right now. You're not on him for an instant answer or an instant solution. You are not all up in his grill, as the kids say, and you're honoring his no. Those are kind of the same for me. The next one is going to be consistency. I want you to learn what it feels like to be consistent in a relationship with a man. So, women, we're known to have a mood or ups and downs with hormones or anything like that, or we have a bad day. I have to bite my tongue so much. Some days with my husband, I have to just like, it's either his driving or it's something. Recently, he was air drumming and we're going down the road, and it takes two hands to air drum. But I mean, if he would have been reckless and not able to handle it, I would have said, "Stop the car right now. I'm getting out." That's a boundary. I wouldn't have said, "Baby, please stop. You're scaring me. Well, this is happening. That's happening." I wouldn't go into explaining and defending. I would be like, "This is my boundary. Stop the car. I'm getting out. I'm calling an Uber." You see? Otherwise, when you're with a man and you're being consistent with your energy, you're able to kind of manage this stuff and understand he's just a guy. They're going to think differently than we do. Some of the stupidest stuff you're ever going to encounter is probably going to be with a man you're in love with. Either that or your children. I'm not talking about the craziness you can read in the news, but in reality, we experience a lot of just like stupid, crazy stuff that doesn't feel right with us. It doesn't sit well with us. So we can go about fixing them all in our boy energy and righting all the wrongs and teaching everyone and coaching everyone and telling him what he did wrong and how he needs to do it right the next time. You see, you'll drive your man away because you're in your masculine energy. You're making action. You're making things happen, you see. Okay? So when you're consistent and you can learn to self-manage yourself, whether it's self-soothing, and learning to sit with a certain amount of pain and going to people who can actually help you and want to offer support and help and advice, like your girlfriends, your mom, your sister, a little support group you have online, whatever it may be. Me, I Heart Love Academy, my free group on Facebook, we all get together and we support each other because a man can't do all this stuff. Their brains just aren't the way our brains are. I know I'm on a little bit of a rant about this, and I'll tell you why. I have gotten some emails from a couple of women that are just expecting things to just I'm doing a feeling statement. It should just work. He should just be here and loving me and wanting me to marry him. And so often it is not about the end result. It's not about the end result of what you're wanting to have, which is marriage and happiness and a loving, committed partnership. It's not always about that end result. It's about who you are becoming in this unfolding process. It's not even about having that man I want. It's what are you becoming? How are you feeling about yourself? I feel way better about myself now that I know how to manage my masculine energy and my moods and remain consistent despite the roller coaster that can be going on inside of me sometimes because of my hormones or because of stress or because I didn't eat right or I haven't worked out or there's just a million things I'm trying to solve in my mind. Ladies, you've all been there. We know what this feels like, right? We take it out on our partner, we take it out on our children, we take it out on our pets, or we take it out on our girlfriend, or we hold it inside and we go eat a pint of ice cream. And really, this is about learning how to sit with pain, learning how to sit with some level of discomfort, and being to yourself the very best parent and friend you can possibly be. That's feminine energy. Feminine energy works like this. I feel. Here's what I'm feeling. And it's like he would be so much better if he would just go do this. If he would just call me, why hasn't he called me? That's outside of you, right? Inside of me, I feel effing lonely. I feel so lonely, or I feel so sad, or I miss this person I loved so much. And why didn't they pick me? You see, and you get inside your body and you find what you're feeling, no matter how dark it is. When you find what you're feeling and you can face that and you can own it and you can love yourself and you can seek out the support that you need, whether it is a wonderful, loving church community, a spiritual friend, a group of women. When you isolate yourself, you go into masculine energy. Men go to the cave, they isolate. That's how they fix problems. Women, we can't do that. We have to have a lot of support. But so many women I talk to, they don't even want to get on a dating app because it means they're failures. They think they're failures because they're on a dating app and they want to find love. You see how isolation works for women? That's masculine energy. Surround yourself with people who can love and support you. And if you do not have those people, you start at I Heart Love Academy, which is on Facebook. I'm not the biggest fan of Facebook, but it's all we got right now. It's a great way to connect. Join my YouTube community. I have a live class coming up. Make friends with some of the women and build your own little tribe, your own little support group, and reach out for friends and family and people who can support you. Don't look just to the man to be the one person who's going to take care of you and be there for you. So consistency when you are riding the waves, whatever it is. But then he comes home from work mad, angry, throws his lunchbox or whatever, kicks the dog. I hope he doesn't, but you know what I mean? Slams the door. You know how men get when they behave like men. They get angry. They shut down. They're angry out of nowhere. They'll maybe throw something. They're masculine energy men. I am not saying it's okay to throw anything. It's definitely not okay to hit anybody, not you, not your children, not your pets. If a guy's doing that, you need to get out of it and get some advice that is not free on YouTube. However, a man is very often going to act like a man. And sometimes you just got to let him. You got to ride that wave. You got to sit back and just let it play out. Cuz so often they'll be mad and they'll get really hot for like a little while. I look at a clock. When my husband starts talking about something and there's a part of me that is going, Adrienne, you need to love and support this man. This is the path you have chosen. This is the person you have chosen to spend your life with. I have to remind myself that, because selfish me is like, I just want to talk about me and I want to talk about what's fun and let's go. No, he's riding the wave now. It's not just women who ride the wave, right? He's riding the wave. So this is where you become that dream girl, because you become that one woman that really, really gets him more than any other woman he has ever had in his life, more than his mom, more than his best girlfriend that he had, or a friend who is a girl. You get him like no one else. And when you can do that, and a man feels like this woman knows me better and gets me better than anybody else, he's in the palm of your hand. It's a wonderful place to be. We all have that person in our life. I hope you have that person in your life who you can just go to and they just get you. And they just wrap you up in love. So when he is having his equivalent of a male mood, of like maybe like male PMS or whatever it may be, he's up and down, he's out of work, he's angry, he's anything. You know how men are. So that is when you just sit there. I look at a clock. I let it go for about 2 minutes. Okay? I let it go for about 2 minutes and I look him right in the eyes. He is the president of my United States right now. And he is standing before me, giving me the state of the nation. And I sit there and I look him right in the eyes and I listen to him, every word, and I nod. I take it very seriously. He needs to feel he is being taken seriously. He needs to feel like a man, and you're just receiving. Now, I'm not talking about taking hours of berating or raging on you or telling you everything is wrong with you. He can tell you everything is wrong with you for about a minute or two. And you just listen. And then after then, if it gets too loud, if it gets too abusive or anything like that, you just say, baby, I want to keep talking to you. I want to hear you. But the loudness is scaring me. Loud voices scare me. I'm going to take a little walk for a little bit and I'm going to come back later if you want to talk. You very calmly let him know, right? So I hope this is all clicking for you. So let's just touch back on these 3 things I'm talking about. I haven't got to the third one yet. Number 1 is space, honoring his no. Number 2 is consistency. If he can ride your wave, you got to ride his wave right back. Become that one woman who really, really gets him. I teach you a special tool for that. Oh, thank you, La Bliss is me. Thank you very much for your contribution. I appreciate it. She's got a question coming up here in a second. I'll get on to that. And the last thing is sexual variety. So sexual variety, women are seeking, that commitment, that stability. Men are seeking sexual variety. So how do these 2 things merge? They just don't seem like they would work, right? So with sexual variety, you can keep your marriage and your relationship feeling like it's something brand new every day with your partner by just exploring some ways to keep that healthy and alive. Now, I don't claim to be a sex expert, but in my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, in the back of the book, of course, I have a lot of tips and things that I've collected over time that just people have written to me and said, I've never heard this before, or I didn't know about this. And one of the things that I suggest doing is having story time. Story time happens up here in a man's head. And when you can be intimate with him and you can talk about a new story, and it can be something just crazy. It can be about you and the girl next door and him and or something. You can dream up whatever you're comfortable dreaming up because it's a story. Now later he's going to come to you and say, well, you were talking about that girl next door. Is that on? Is that something we can really do? And just say, oh, you're so sweet. You're so funny. I don't feel comfortable with that, but I love to talk about it. I love getting you all hot and crazy talking about it. That is sexual variety. Or I don't know, maybe one day. Ambiguity is one of the great things you can do with a guy when it comes to sexual variety. I talk about the power of might. I might let you fill in the blank. You see, that's very powerful for a guy. He's like, what have I got to do to work and make that might happen? So, sexual variety, I teach you some about it in my class coming up here, the FEM relationship and marriage class. However, it's also somewhat in my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. But also seek out other sources that have a lot of great ideas about keeping that sexual variety alive and well in your relationship. So these three things to me are what a man is looking for in a dream girl. She accepts his no, she gives him space, she's consistent, and the sex is like spot on with the variety. You have those things going for you, you're a dream girl to a guy, right? So I'll just touch on a couple other points. I want you to think a little bit about how when a man is losing his freedom, like he's going to get married or he's going to become in a relationship, they're really worried about losing their freedom and having to answer to someone all the time. So you want to just have your energy nowhere near that. And when you have that vibe with a man, again, he's going to have that, you're going to have that dream girl quality. So for a man to not at all feel that you are encroaching on his freedom, it means that you have to have such a rich and full and juicy life that you're not even concerned with him. So in poker, the card game poker, there is a saying that says, if you're worried about your opponent, no, sorry, if you're focused on your cards, I only got a pair of twos. If you're focused on your cards, you're not playing the game right. Did I get that backwards? No, I did. This is more about their hand. This is more about their hand and what they're doing and having their freedom. You need to be worried about your life, what you're doing, your freedom, your happiness, what you're doing, you see. So when you have that focus on you and not the man, that is when he doesn't feel that energy coming all towards him. All right. So that's just a quick example I wanted to give you. And let's talk about a little bit about breathing. Breathing is a really popular term that I've been hearing a lot in the dating world. And breathing is really about how you're creating this space for a man to observe him. So part of quantum dating means I'm observing myself. I'm seeing how I show up on a date. I show up on a date, a guy doesn't look the way I want him to look, or he's not speaking the way I want him to speak. And I want to run and I check out and I try to get the date over real quick. Okay, so that's what I do. You learn how to observe yourself, you see, and you learn how to face these things and deal with them in a brand new way with feminine energy. So that's something I teach you. Breathing is about observing. It's not so much about what you're talking about and saying as much as you're leaning back and observing. So by giving a man space and accepting his no, you're breathing. You're practicing breathing. That's what it's all about. I go more in detail in my class about breathing, about this term everyone's using right now, which is breathing giving a person space, and not being smothering them. I talk about the caramel on top of a caramel apple. You've all seen those at the fairground, and they're just covered in caramel. But I learned a secret when I was a kid. You can actually peel the caramel off the apple. So let's imagine that caramel is your energy and the man is the apple. You want to peel your energy off that man. Thank you very much for your contribution, Deborah Kelly. Thank you. I want to get to all y'all's questions. So we're going to talk about Inspace in my class. FEM is coming up July 14th. Save your spot. It's a live class. I'm going to have a guest speaker in my class as well. Jack Butler. I don't know if he's showing up tonight. He might pop in and say hello. Super awesome guy. He's also like me. He's married. And as coaches, there are a lot of coaches out there that, they're not married. They have some wonderful advice. They have some great techniques and tools. But this is definitely about being married, being in that married world, being in the relationship world, and using your feminine energy. That is what this class is about. The link is below in the description. So we're going to talk about, instead of escaping, instead of being outside of you, Inscape is about what's happening within. And it's also about what's happening within the person that's in front of you, including your husband or your boyfriend. And when you can get that deeper look inside of them, you begin to see the world differently. When you get that deeper look inside of anything, you begin to see the world differently. So I have a meditation in class that I'm going to take you through to teach you how to do that. It's actually an art or a poetry kind of technique or term, because it does talk about not just being up in your head, but actually inhabiting the energy and the feelings of what this other person or experience is having. And it's a really powerful tool. A lot of women that contact me, they're empaths, and they are just, absorbing a lot of guys' energies. I teach you about boundaries with that, and I teach you how to create yourself in a little bubble so you stay safe from a lot of the other toxic things that you can experience. But at the same time, you can really get a person. You can see them in a new way. I call it caressing them with your energy. You can caress them with your energy. All right, so moving on. I'm going to do some Q&A. I would love to have you in class if you want to join. Class is going to be happening on July 14th at 4 p.m. 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern time. You just use my link to sign up below, okay? So I'm going to answer Deborah's quick question. And before that, I want to answer LaBliss's quick question. She said, how to make new friends out of college and married. Can you elaborate on that? I'm going to scroll down and see if you wrote anything else about that, LaBliss. Oh, here she says, she's just used a technique that I teach. So when you're out of college and you're used to being around tons of guys, and then suddenly, where's everybody at? I really recommend dating apps. This is something I teach in Fem Tools. Now everybody's like, "Ooh, a dating app. I don't want to do that. It's gross. You attract weirdos." Yeah, you do. But you can also attract weirdos in real life. So the good thing about a dating app is that even before you actually go on the actual date, you will get so much practice in the back and forth, the first hellos that you have with a man. So I get you to go from first hellos to a phone call. Yes, he calls you. Imagine the effort, dialing your phone number, speaking with you for no more than 30 minutes. And then you have a date. Make it a quick coffee date. Do not make it a big, long drawn out dinner date. But dating apps will help you practice your feminine energy tools that I'm teaching you. So when your husband comes along one day, and he will, you're not going to be practicing on your husband. You're going to know this stuff. You're going to have it. Okay. So I hope that helps with your question. I have Fem Tools, which is the first class I taught with Fem. That is available on my website. And I also have the marriage and relationship class as well coming up. Deborah, do you have a question? I'm just scrolling down. If not, Deborah, just go ahead and type your question. I'll be happy to answer it. I'm going to go ahead and ask a question. Let's see. Someone asked, what can I do so a man doesn't lose interest once he has you? That's a little bit about what I'm teaching you in the FEM dating and relationship class. I'm teaching you about what's involved with really just owning and becoming who you are as a woman. You're no longer in your teens or your 20s. And if you're watching this, my apologies, but most of you are in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, 60s, even some up into your 70s. So the game has changed. Everyone's had a partner in their life that they've broken up with, and you have some baggage. You might have children. You might be divorced. And it's not about like, oh my gosh, I've met someone that I'm just crazy about. It's not about that anymore. It's about finding someone who loves you and treats you well consistently and wants to be there for you. So that's the difference. And I go very much in detail in my new class with that. Please join. It's a very inexpensive class. Let's see. Purple Sage says, do you have a timeline for how long it takes to get comfortable with these dating apps practice? That's a great question. For everyone, it is a little bit different, but I do talk about you have to look fear right in the eyes. You have to look it right in the eye or it's going to own you. And it will be, sure enough, the thing that you attract in every man. So when these men are coming around and you're meeting men who, like, let's for say example, they want to sleep with you first date. There's something in your energy that's drawing them to you, or it's a message from the universe that this is something we want you to work on. We want you to learn how to face right now. When you learn how to have healthy boundaries, which is about 90% of what I teach at the end of the day, it's about healthy boundaries. It's about knowing yourself, knowing what you feel in your body so well that you can find the words and speak it. No hesitation. So how long it takes you to do that is how soon you're willing to face the fear of whatever it is you're afraid of, which I don't know. It's so unique. It's unique to all of us, what that may be. Okay, Deborah, we're talking about if you've been married and it's been years since you've had sex, he refuses, he won't initiate, he has nothing medically wrong, and constantly gives me excuses. So I talked earlier about getting in your boy energy and having a very serious conversation with someone. And it is time to do that. And I hope you can attend my class. I think you get a lot of it. There is time to do that, and I think it's possibly now. But before you do that, here's what I would like you to do. If you're having an affair, stop, because that's messing up your energy. If you happen to be, I'm not saying you are, but if you are, I want you to begin finding everything that feels good to you for your body, sensually. This man, there's something going on, a resentment possibly, and answer me in the comments. Okay, no affair. Is there any sort of, he's sticking it to you, like a resentment that maybe you've been on his back for the last 15 years. Maybe you've talked down to him. Maybe you've belittled him in some way. And it's maybe like a little bit of a way he's sticking it to you because he knows you want sex. So here we have a situation where the energies have reversed. We have the woman pursuing the man instead of the man pursuing the woman. So we've had a reversal of energy, which makes me pretty much sure that you've been micromanaging the household and this man, and he doesn't feel like a man anymore. And I want you to get back to letting him feel like a man. A good place to start is, Deborah, answer me in chat, please. Does he give you a hug and a kiss like when he comes home from work or before he leaves to go run an errand or something? Is there any sort of physical contact, hug, kiss, anything like that? If there is, when he kisses you or hugs you, I want you to practice saying, that feels so good. Or, ooh, I love those big warm arms around me. And start there. The second thing I want you to do is start making yourself feel good as much as possible. And you know what I'm talking about. Private alone time just for you, baths, massage, anything that makes you feel good. And then share it with him, but no overkill. But let him know, oh, I took a nice hot bath and it felt so good to just slough off the day and relax in warm water. That's letting him know what you're feeling in your body. Or you guys are out to eat and you're having a hamburger. This hamburger is just melting in my mouth. It tastes so juicy and delicious. You're in your body. A lot of this sounds like you're talking about sex, doesn't it? But you're not. You're just sharing with a man what's going on inside your body. Deborah wrote, he resents that I don't bring in enough income. He does give me a quick peck in the morning, so he's punishing you. So this is where eventually I would like for you to work on rebuilding with him for about 3-4 weeks. And at some point, be able to try rebuilding. What I'm telling you, try that before you do this. Try peeling your energy, because if you can begin to change, if you can begin to fantasize about how wonderful it used to be to make love with him and how it felt, and have your pillow. I talk about my Jeffy pillow. Have that pillow and hold it. Act like it's him. Have a fantasy in your head where he just comes home from work one day, crazy to make love to you. Have that fantasy. Let it play out. Get some of that energy flowing. Because right now your energy is in this other place and it doesn't feel good and it's not going to attract him. So experiment with some of these things. And again, I teach you more of that in my class. But at some point, you might have to put on your boy pants and say, I need to have a serious conversation with you. I feel so awkward talking about it. I miss being touched. I miss being loved. Can you help me understand this? I'm curious how you feel. If for some reason he actually says, yeah, it's because you don't make as much money as me, you're not carrying your weight, and I'm mad as hell at you, I want you to just listen. Listen. And then say, what can we do to fix it? What can we do to fix it? And listen. It's a very powerful thing. Okay. Iris is asking a very classic question. What if the guy you're talking to, he contacts you on Facebook chat, says, be right back, leaves you hanging, waiting for him to come back when he has to go offline? Bye. And I tell him bye, but he's gone. Girl, are you new to my material? Because this is like Adrienne Everheart 101. This is, you don't wait for a man. That's not part of your energy. You're not here to wait and say, oh, I hope he comes back. You live your rich, full, juicy, exciting life. What's happening is you're getting laser focused on one man. You've just found a guy you like. You're laser focused on him. And who knows what he's doing? Who knows? He might just be being a real jerk. And again, guys don't really know to not be a jerk. They don't know, because they're so used to women who put up with this. You see, so they don't even know when they're doing it. They just think this is how it works. You treat a girl however she allows you to treat her. So when a man does something like that, you're just chatting with him. First of all, you're just chatting with him. You need to go on a date. Nothing counts until you can smell each other. You got to smell each other's skin. You got to be around each other. All right. So when he comes back, he talks to you again. You say, wow, you go a few rounds of talking. I have this in Fem Tools. It's a $17, or I don't know how much it is, $17 or $27 class for the dating one. It's very inexpensive. You go a few rounds of chatting with him where you connect with him. You're warm. You're an invitation. And then you say, chatting is felt wonderful. A phone call would feel great. What do you think? If he can't put in the effort to pick up a phone and punch some numbers and have a conversation with you in real time, he's a time waster. And he's triggered you into pursuing him because you're trying to fix something that has happened in other relationships. Most of the time, that's what happens. All right. So I'm going to take one more question just real quick. I want to touch on my class. Again, it's FEM, which is Feminine Energy Mindset Method. The class is a dating and relationship class. It's for anyone who, if you're in a relationship or you're married, sorry, it's not dating, it's marriage and relationship. And the class is very inexpensive. It's a live video class with me. I do Q&A, and it'll be a lot of fun. It's a one-day class. It lasts about 3 hours with a little bit of a break. Okay. So someone asked an interesting question. Have you seen the red pill or men go their own way, or ways to get women to chase men? Have I seen it? I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. Up until about, maybe 9 years ago. So I was living it. Masculine energy. We get a little lure, we get a little taste, and we want some of that, and we pursue it and we chase it. There's nothing new about this. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, you got something a man wants real bad. The last time I checked. And there are some other women out there who will give it to him. And if that's the women he wants, let him go have them. But you're not that girl. That's your power. So he can go his own way, but it's going to be by himself. It's not going to be with you in his bed at night. And eventually, guys get to a place where they do want the warmth of a family. They go to work, and boss man, everybody at the table is married with a family and taking nice vacations, and they're schlepping it, still dating and single. It doesn't work for men. That's one reason why. But it means a lot to a man to have his own little family, his own little tribe, his own little pack that he's protecting and taking care of. Now, if there's something in his DNA that he just doesn't have, that he doesn't want to protect, he doesn't want to have a pack, he doesn't want to have a woman who has his back, and vice versa, he's going to die alone. Or he's going to die with some woman that's so starving for crumbs that she's going to sit with him till the very end and let her. That's what she wants to do. That's what he wants to do. So for all the women out there that are giving it up easy and so desperate and hungry for a man, those are the women that need to be on their own men go their own way dating site. Just hook up there. Because everyone else, again, men are seeking sex first. There's no man that's like, yeah, I really want to get married. I mean, occasionally there is. I'll say that. But you see what I'm talking about here? You are in control. It's at your pacing. That's what I'm teaching you. Your boundaries. The thing that you have that a man wants more than anything else, that is up to you. It's not something that you're dangling in front of him. You can do whatever you want whenever you want. You're a goddess on a pedestal. But you set the pacing. You're not chasing him. He's chasing you. And once you learn how to quantum date, you will have so many men coming at you literally out of the woodworks. I still have men coming at me. When guys found out I was engaged, I had about 4 or 5 different guys reach out to me that I thought were long gone. And they were just like sob story. So, this is really about how you feel at the end of the day. If you feel good in a relationship, if you feel good on your own, if you feel good not finding a really good guy to date for the last 2-3 weeks, what are you feeling? This work begins and ends with how you feel. Remember, it's not always about the end result. It's about your process and your unfolding. You see, you're unfolding in this process. Right? So men can go their own way, but they're going to be going alone or with some other woman that not you. And let me tell you, there's somebody out there for everybody. Absolutely. I have seen things in my coaching career turn around for women that I never thought would happen, and they do. Okay, so last question. Uh, LaBliss wrote back. She says, "Hi, to elaborate, you've helped me so much. I'm married and I'm pregnant, and most of my friends are masculine women or men. I was asking how to make new friends." Oh my goodness, what a fantastic question. So, are you wanting to make friends that have more feminine energy? If so, try making friends that are about 20 years older than you. I don't know your age, but the older generation, I have always just naturally gravitated towards a little bit older people. I love gardening, and a lot of little old ladies really love gardening. So do I. I go to this little garden almost every day, and there is a little retirement village not too far from it. And I meet up with a lot of women and men who are at that little retirement center, and they are wonderful in feminine energy. And you might think of like your grandma, for example, if your grandma was of that generation or she had that feminine energy. Older women, especially if you are a strong in Aphrodite, if you are a beautiful, beautiful, hot, sexy woman, there's going to be a lot of haters. Make friends with older women. They will love you and support you and be a wonderful friend for you. If there is a book you like that is about spiritual growth or about things that are important to women, expansion, things like this, topics that there's usually like one or two guys at places like that. Even yoga class, there's not a lot of guys in yoga class. So you find these women that are on a serious, similar wavelength as you, and you let them know, I'm interested in having coffee sometime. What do you think? I'm looking to hook up with some other powerful dynamite women. And what do you think? Now, if they're too busy and they're so in their masculine energy that they're just too busy for you, that's fine. There are other women out there. Go for the empty nesters, go for the older women. They have more time on their hands to really invest in a relationship with someone. They have gotten the power of how wonderful and important it is to have your sisters and have your sisters surrounding you and supporting you. I hope that answers your question okay. All right, everybody, join me for my class. It's again, it's going to be held on July 14th, and it's a one-day class. My friend Jack Butler, who's also married, he's got a lot of great advice. We're going to do Q&A. We have some great tools to teach you. I can't wait to teach you more about inscaping, like with your partner. And if you're, dating, you get into a relationship and the relationships kind of bottom out, like what's happening? What can you do to strengthen that with everyone, even? So I'm going to wish you all good night tonight. Please take a moment and click the little thumb in this video if you have liked this video. It helps other women find it and learn about this information. And also share this video with a girlfriend. And if I didn't get to your question, because I see some people hollering at me in the chat, if I didn't get to your question, all you have to do is write it in the comment section and I'll answer it. I really try to answer every single comment I get. I sometimes spend an entire day I do answering questions on YouTube. It's my honor to be part of your life and be here with you in this journey. I was once exactly where you are, not understanding this, putting all the puzzle pieces together. How does this work? Yada, yada, feeling confused, and just really wanting to have that solid, wonderful relationship with a person. And feminine energy, once you rediscover your feminine energy, everything in your life gets better. Your career, your health, your relationship with your mom, your friends, of course, the man in your life, everything starts to unfold for you in such a positive way. I can't wait to share it with you more. So I'll look out for you in the comment section. Much love And I hope to see you in my class happening in a couple of weeks. Mwah. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night. Thank you for joining.